Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Naiva Flory, and I'm honored to be a part of the Million Mom Movement Council along with Dominique Jeffries. And we're here today to share an amazing presentation, an inspiring presentation about wise women rising and how we can really help our generational wellness through this amazing community that we have here. And we have some really incredible stories that we're going to be sharing here today. But before we go into those stories, we would love to just go ahead and open it up with our Million Mom Movement pledge. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull up that pledge for us. And we have a guest here that's going to read it and share what this movement means to her.
I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement.
Thank you so much, Colleen. And if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and share a little bit about what this movement means to you or your experience using these superfoods at the phase of life that you're in right now and how that's supporting you.
Well, thank you. The superfoods are super. I'm really pleased to be having taken them for a year now and just recently signed on as a brand partner because they are so good. And I'm really excited about all that they have to offer people, the help, and some of the incredible results that people have found from this. So I'm just excited to be here and thankful for everything. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Colleen. And on the business side, you said you just launched as a brand partner. Do you want to share a little bit about how that experience has been going for you?
Well, a little bit slow at the moment, but I've had quite a number of life events that have sort of derailed me. But hey, I'm in this for the long run, so it's all good. I have a couple of customers so far, so take it one day at a time.
We all have to start at the beginning. Where do you see this business taking you? What are you looking forward to?
Oh my goodness. Well, personally, I love to travel, like Melissa Hanson has talked about. She loves traveling with her significant other, and but I do have lots of goals. I can when I'm making more money, I will be definitely giving more away. So that excites me. I love doing that. I love volunteering and helping, and it's a good thing.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing today, Colleen. Really appreciate you being on.
Thank you.
And so as this community grows, we have people of every age. And so what we really wanted to highlight today is that you can start with this business and with taking care of your body and taking your health to the next level at any age. Even if you feel like, you're getting towards the middle ages and you're wondering, about your health and about your future and about your finances and maybe even worried about your retirement. This is a great opportunity to align with the community that is empowered and have another chance at looking at your future differently, maybe having that financial empowerment that you may not have had in the past, or maybe you have worked for 40 years and your retirement doesn't look as good as you thought it might look at this time. And so this is what we really wanted to bring is showing the opportunity and what's possible at any age of life with our health and wealth. And so I'm really grateful to have some great guests on here today. And did you see Dominique hop on yet? I don't know that she's on here yet. Dominique Williams, are you here?
I don't think she's on just yet.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and ask Gina if you would like to share some of your story with us. I'm really excited to learn more about what this opportunity has brought to you in your life on the health side, on the wealth side, and where you see it taking you in the future.
Great. Yeah, thanks so much for asking me to share. I'm really honored, and I mean that with all my heart. I'm honored to be here. My past, my way past, I'm in recovery from alcohol, drugs, and bulimia. I've been sober 23 years, but since then, my journey of wellness has, thank you, has been what I've seeked. And so I put myself through school. I did all sorts of amazing things. Several years ago, I moved to, I'm back in Connecticut, but we had moved to Florida. And one of the reasons I did was to start a nonprofit wellness organization. And I had this deep desire to share about our food industry, our soils, and what was going on. And I had a desire to make things more accessible. I've since walked away from the nonprofit because it just was draining my spirit, but that's a whole other story for another day. But that's how I got introduced to Purium. So I was sharing at a networking event, and I was approached after because of my passion about Purium. And I will be honest that I didn't really take it seriously at first. I kind of brushed it under the rug for 6 months. And then 6 months later, when I had a brick and mortar and I was trying to find things to put in it, and I ended up buying not another because I don't really consider us supplements. I ended up buying a supplement and was very turned off by this whole experience I had with this company. And I said, let me look at Purium. And I looked at Purium and I was like, wow, why didn't I look at this 6 months ago? And I was considered myself a pretty healthy person, but I knew there was something lacking. I knew, that I was tired all the time. Um, the hormonal stuff for me, I'm 53 now, so I got introduced to Purium 2 years ago. Um, it was getting worse, like right before my menstruating, I was crazy. I mean, I have a lot of funny stories that weren't funny at the time, but screaming, wanting to kill myself because I burnt something, just very emotionally, just a little unhinged. And so I had some stuff going on, and I was always the person that did not want to fall into, well, it's just my age. I always knew naturally we could do a lot with our bodies, that our bodies are capable of so much. So Purium, I signed up for Purium. I signed up for the business and the transformation, everything at once. I knew that these products were going to work. I knew it 100% because I was educated enough. Not that you have to be like educated. I don't want to sound snobby, but I mean, I was educated to know that because the food was coming from regenerative farms and because it was just food, that this was going to work and it was going to heal my gut. And so I started everything at once and I just fell in love. I fell in love with the community. I fell in love with Dave and Amy, and I see how the owners, Dave and Amy, how it just trickles down into our community. It's just such a representation of the products of Purium and of everyone. And so it's kind of like when I got sober, I wanted to share it with the world. And it's the same thing with Purium. I wanted to share it with the world. Like, we have this answer here. I immediately started to feel more energy. My hormonal stuff is amazing. I didn't even realize I had changed so much till I heard somebody else share on a Zoom. One of the greatest gifts I've gotten for physically with Purium is food noise. I'm also recovering bulimic. I was a hot mess in my 20s. So that I hadn't done any of those behaviors, but I still was obsessed and crazy, and the chatter and the obsession, and that Purium helps with that a lot, a lot. And I know because sometimes I'm not as disciplined and it starts to creep in again. And my husband will be like, why, Purium works for you. Like when I do the 2 shakes a day and I continue. So what I want to say about the business piece is that I am so grateful for that business piece. I closed that brick and mortar, which was part of the nonprofit, and I dove into Purium, and we just moved back to Connecticut, able to travel, able to move. Generational wellness is important to me, and wealth was really never important to me till now. I'm not really sure why, but it has become way more important to me. And I never really it's not that I never tried anything, because obviously I went back to school and I did that stuff, but there's something about being here and really wanting to be extremely successful. I've been successful, but I want to grow. And I just have this vision, for anyone that's on here, crown is, that's the highest, those are the highest ranks. Um, I think of my son, and my son just graduated high school and he wants to start a business, and I'm hoping he does period at some point. He's really into health, but there's that piece that I want him, I like imagine him hugging me and telling me how proud he is of me. And he is proud of me. I know he loves me as a mom, but just to be that success, and I know he's proud of me for sticking with it. And I starting something this late in life, um, which started with the nonprofit that I since, because before that I didn't do that, but is pretty interesting. And I think because I'm a little older, not caring about like other people don't pay my bills, and because when you get healthy and wealthy, people start to have opinions. And so it's very liberating. It's very powerful. It's exciting to be a leader and to have women look up to you. And, the reason I started it, and I'll end with this, the reason I started to talk about my recovery is because it reminds me of that so much. Because when we get sober, then we reach up and someone reaches down, and then we reach down and we pull people up and we walk with them. And it's the same thing in Purium. We cannot rise alone in this. We cannot become successful and rise without taking people with us in the business and in the wellness. Look how many people we help when we do that in the wellness. People are having extreme transformations. And I know we can't use those fancy words like heal and reverse, and but we are impacting people's lives. And then with the business, and we pull them up, and then we walk with them, and we don't rise alone. We don't rise alone. And we are making a huge impact on the future of ourselves, our family, our communities, and the world and the earth. So thank you.
Amazing. Would you mind sharing just a little bit of the products that have been most supportive to you during this transition, during these last couple of years?
Sure. And I would say that the ULT, I mean, really the basic ULT. I mean, I do the dark berry with it. I've been also taking the one, what's it called? The super for the, sorry, I'm drawing a blank, for
Life?
the testosterone. Yes. Because just because that little bit of the midsection, I'd like to, and I've been learning about testosterone in women. And so I just implemented that, and I feel like that's been really good. But I really just get a lot out of just doing the basic ULT.
Amazing. And have you had any experience with the menopositive yet tincture that we came out with?
I have not felt that I needed to add that.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for
Um,
sharing a little bit of your journey and, what products have been supportive to you. I think this is so helpful for others that we're inspiring along the way of what's possible, right? Like you said, maybe you never expected this at this time in your life to be relaunching a business and doing, taking these superfoods. And like you said, they're not just a supplement, they're food that we're taking into our body that's really supporting us. And the Super Life formula is amazing because it helps to balance testosterone. And a lot of us have the belief that that's for men, but it's actually also for women. It helps us to balance our hormones as well. And so for anybody that had any questions around that, I just wanted to mention that it's a really great superfood blend that can really help us balance our hormones. And then the menopositive has been a really great addition for many women. And menopositive, even though it has the name menopause in it. It's actually for women of all ages. So from the time our girls are 12 or 13 years old, starting to go into their hormonal phases until we're like in our 60s or 70s, we have hormones our whole life. And so that tincture can be used throughout all the years, despite the name that it has. And so it may have a name change in the future. We'll see what that holds. But I just wanted to mention that as well, that it is for all ages. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to this, Dina, before we go to the next guest?
No, just that, there's plenty of other products I use too, like the Can't Beat This, and it makes me happy. I feel like that's my happy drink. But yeah, I'm just
Amazing.
grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on here with us. What a beautiful story and what a great share. And I know that, like you said, we just want our children to be proud of us. You just want your son to be proud of you. And if he was in business with you, even better. That's a beautiful vision that you have for the future. And I think many of us here have, visions like that for our next generations, our sons and daughters to join us on this beautiful legacy that we're going to leave them in the future. So thank you so much. I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
go ahead and see if Dominique Williams, are you here? I'm really excited to hear your story and your share around this topic as well.
Hi, Naiva. I'm here.
Wonderful. So great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I really appreciate this call. Thank you both, Naiva, Dominique, and the team. So
Wonderful.
valuable.
Well,
Uh,
thank you for being here. And yeah, well, this focus is really, mainly about business, but also share any of the products that have supported you throughout these last few years and how the journey has been for you.
yeah, so my journey's been pretty long. I just turned 40, and my health journey really started when I was a little kid. And I dealt with a lot of autoimmune my entire life, trying to get answers along the way. Saw multiple doctors. And then in 2022, I actually had a profound health transformation thanks to Purium. I finally found a solution that worked. Within 30 days of using this nutrition, my body really responded. And it was exactly what I was looking for, holistic, supporting our body from the inside out. And at the time, I was working full time. I was working as a personal assistant, Monday to Friday, 9 till 5, as well as taking care of the family, looking after my kids, juggling all the things. And I really appreciate that this nutrition, we can just naturally start sharing it with everybody that we love. And that's what I did. How can you want to keep hold of something that works, that you believe in? So I just started to share with friends, family, neighbors, colleagues, and gradually on the side of my full-time job, while managing all the duties of being a mom, I was able to build this nutrition business on the side. So I really appreciate the leverage aspect of this business. I was able to build a full-time income in just part-time hours on the side of everything else I had going on. And then fast forward to January this year, as well as this amazing health transformation, I was actually asked by my employer, I worked as a personal assistant, and I was asked by my employer to do something that didn't really align with my personal core values that I felt could jeopardize my own very sensitive immune system. And because of having this full-time income in place, thanks to Purium, without a stress or a worry, I was able to just walk away from my full-time job. And I'm truly, truly grateful for that. To have that plan B in place was such a blessing. So I'm so grateful for the health transformation that I've had, to be able to share this, the benefits of the nutrition with friends and family that I love, and then to build a full-time income, be able to walk away from my full-time job. I now get to work from home. This summer, my kids are on summer break. I've been able to take them to the soccer practice, be there to watch them score the goals instead of being stuck at work, checking the score on my phone, getting messages from other moms. I'm there, I'm present. And I'm so grateful for that. And as well as that, this business, I really appreciate the personal development that comes along with it. That was huge for me. I always dealt with social anxiety, depression. I never imagined that I would be on a Zoom sharing in front of other people. It scared the heck out of me. And because of the personal development and because I feel good now, emotionally as well as physically, I love that side of it as well. And then plus the friendships that have come along through this business. The community is fantastic. And then, of course, there's so many things that the income has done for us. When I first started the business, I was actually purchasing our groceries on my credit card because financially we were really struggling, even though my husband and I both had a full-time job. So yeah, it's just been blessing after blessing, win after win. And I'm so glad. I can't believe that I didn't hear of Purium. And before 2022, it's like the best kept secret ever. And so anybody that's here for the first time and thinking about it, don't hesitate. You have nothing to lose.
I love that. Yeah, we have nothing to lose and everything to gain with this incredible opportunity. And we have a really big mission here with the Million Mom movement of reaching out to the mission is really 1,000 different people from 100 different communities, each sharing with 10 people. And so, it's really a simple mission. And through that, we're going to reach 1 million people strong. And our vision is really to become a household name. So we want people to recognize it when we mention Purium. We want people to be like, yes, I've heard about that. Yes, I use that in my household. And so I love that. And I love how far you've come in such a short amount of time as a busy mom and somebody that had a full-time job and then came into this with your part-time hours, but created a significant income in the past few years. And so would you like to share what your favorite products are that have been supporting you and your family?
Yeah, that's really hard. I love so many of the products. So I started with the ULT that Dina mentioned, because I had really severe celiac disease and I had to have a separate toaster to the rest of the family. I was that, sensitive to gluten. So I actually switched out with the ULT. I did the Ionic Elements, which is your 72 trace minerals, and the Aloe Digest. And I've been using that every day for 3 years. I drop it into my shakes. I drop it into my water. I put it in my cherry juice. So I love those products. And then what else? I always had a sweet tooth. And so to help me get away, and I don't have those sugar cravings anymore, which is amazing to me. But to help me, I used the coffee protein and the MVP chocolate family because it really feels like you're having that like a delicious shake from a fast food company, but with all the health benefits that's clean. So I do those every day. What else? I love the barley juice every morning. First thing, as soon as I wake up, I do the barley juice, and you can literally feel your cells singing and dancing. You can like feel that energy in your body. It's amazing. The pineal clear has been huge for me. I had so much brain fog for years, and the ULT got rid of that. But since I've been using pineal, it's really helped, doing Zooms like this to be able to speak and present and not have to look at my notes. That clarity and focus has been amazing. What else? Oh gosh, there's so many. I use probably about 10 or 15 different products every day and kind of rotate. Super Life that you mentioned, I always dealt with social anxiety, and so it really helps you feel more happy and more socially, what's the word? More social. So I do this Super Life every 2 or 3 months. And I just ordered the menopause as well. I haven't tried it yet, but I've had so much good feedback from friends that have been using it.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, your favorites in your household. I know sometimes it can put us on the spot because we have almost 70 incredible superfood blends and single ingredient products that are just so beneficial to our bodies and our health and our families. And so sometimes it can be hard to name off just a list off of the top of our head because there's so many that we use. And sometimes we're rotating, right? Because there's different ones that we enjoy on different days, depending on if it's a hot day or a cold day, or if we're having that sweet tooth, like you mentioned. So I love that we have these alternatives that are healthy for us, and we don't have to feel guilty about indulging in a chocolate superfood shake because we know there's so many nutrients in it, and it's actually helping our body and not taking anything away. And so I really appreciate you coming on and sharing a little bit of your story. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before you hop off?
Being as we're all moms here, I think I should just share, I dropped out of college. I went to university in England to study psychology, sociology, and I dropped out in my first year because I couldn't read a paragraph of a book and retain information. So there was no way I was keeping up with my grades, my assignments, my study. So I dropped out. And honestly, it felt like I was a failure to my family. There was a lot of pressure there to study hard and be a doctor or a lawyer, like other family members. But with this business, I just feel so grateful and proud. When I hit a certain level in this business not too long ago, my daughter heard all the recognition from my friends and our team. And she just looked at me and she said, "Mom, I am so proud of you." And that for me is like one of the highlights and one of the most special moments. I'm gonna get emotional now, but to know that I made my family proud, and even without a degree, I've been able to achieve something and help so many others.
What a beautiful gift. Thank you so much for sharing that and just encouraging all of us of what's possible, even while working a full-time job and juggling life and children and all the responsibilities and still being able to achieve massive success here in this community. So I really appreciate you. And I know you said you had a deadline that you had to hop off. So thank you so much for making the time to be here today. I really appreciate you and have a beautiful rest of your evening. And so I'm going to go ahead and see if Martha, I'd love to hear your story and how this business has impacted you and your life and share a little bit of your story with us.
Well, I grew up in a household where we always would forage. We went fishing. We might go hunting. And through the time frame, people needed to get full-time jobs. And I grew up on the standard American diet, a lot of canned vegetables and fruit and rice and macaroni, a large family making things work. But we all grew up understanding that there was medicine all around us, but I also grew up in a family that has generational issues such as depression, uh, things like that, and diabetes too. And I was a single mother for quite some time, and one of my son's issues with me being a single mom, he's all like, "Well, you didn't really have a lot of ambition." And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, you never really got out of your comfort zone." So as my son got out of high school, and I was starting to think about what I could do to have an extra income come into the house. And I had been watching a couple of different people. I had been introduced to Purium by Allison Jade, and I had seen her when she first started, and mind all over the place, dark circles under the eyes and everything. And it wasn't Purium that she was sharing the first time I saw her, but she had this consistency of showing up and showing up for herself. And when she found Purium, she started sharing it, and I started noticing changes that made me realize that things were happening for her. There was massive amounts of growth for her. And then Jared came in and was helping her. And I was all like, wow, this is a team. This is a team. And I'm all like, this just isn't, part of the team. This is, they're building their team. And I had a lap band about 10, 15 years ago. I don't keep track of it anymore, but I was having issues finding protein that would work for me. I was dropping hair. I was having issues with my teeth, my skin, just fuzzy noggin and everything. And I got a hold of Jared when Allison was away at yoga. She was learning her yoga stuff. And that's the first product I tried was the super aminos. And my goodness, like taking it, yes, it gave me that energy. It was like a kick in my pants, yes. But then within like 2 or 3 weeks, I started noticing baby hair. And I got back a hold of them, and I decided that I was going to start the ULT and my business the same day, because I knew that it was the way to go. I had been looking not just for protein, but I came to realize that, I was really tired of the choices that are on the shelves. And I live in the ag belt. I live in Oklahoma, and I have nothing against anybody for growing in their backyard. And we have farmers markets, which is great. But there was also people utilizing what is commonly known as glyphosate or Roundup. And so I was looking for a conscious choice when it came to where I needed to spend my money. And when I got that decision in my head, and then I was like introduced to the Kind Human tribe. And when I first started, I was so hyper. I was so hyper and talking a mile a minute. And all of these people, you know, they gave me grace. They gave me patience. They gave me understanding. And being able to share is one thing, but being able to come off of 3 different psych meds for anxiety, for depression, to help me sleep. And then you want to talk about gratefulness. So, like, I got a hold of everybody I know. I was like crying and everything. And my son was worried about my mental health. And I was like, kiddo, I haven't had to take anything to help me sleep in over a month. I haven't had to take any of these meds because my serotonin was back. And the regularity, you want to talk about the regularity of a woman's cycle. Because of the standard American diet and birth control of different types, my cycle was usually about 19 days long and horrendous. Okay. I have had regular cycles on the norm. And something that I have, just a minute, that I have noticed is there are certain things that I've added on that has helped a lot. Now, be energetic. I will do that after an extremely stressful period in my life. Like I just had a full hip replacement on the left, and that was very stressful. So I took a round of Be Energetic. Kamut is something that I like for a pick-me-up throughout the day with ice. It's just very energetic. But when it comes to the ambition part, okay, waking up from a haze, and it wasn't the first meds that I had been on. It's just like the standard American diet. You have the standard American medical system that says here, here, here. And I mean, being awake, being aware, and having this community has really allowed me to grow as a person, to come into a place of edifying myself for the growth that I have had and that I continue to have. And generational wealth is showing not only my son, but my family that there's cause and effect. Okay, cause and effect. And my ambition level, the past couple of years, I've worked with Purium. It's been slow going for me because of my hip, and I'm looking forward. And I didn't like not talk to people. We have Zoom meetings. We can get a hold of people through social media. We can pick up the phone book and call people. But what has helped me understand, knowing that I'm in the right place with the right company, is not only the understanding of conscious commerce, but regenerative farming practices. We've saved so much plastic from landfills. And to have this in my life, along with the people, I know that I'm in the right place. I know that I'm in the right place. And even during this downtime, I've I've been reading. I've been reading. I've been attending Zooms. I've still been reaching out to people, asking questions, and I've been able to help one person during this time with the ULT. And to me, that's a win. That's a win. Would I like to make more of an income? Well, faith without works is dead. So the more work I put into it, the more I will see out of it. I remain to myself when I'm on a bunch of meds in the past month. I have been on a lot of meds, and I'm happy that I have this nutrition to go into surgery with, just like I'm like going into perimenopause. It's like you wanted me to talk about that. It's having hot flashes, kind of like hot flashes. I started back on Super Life formula, and not only are my hot flashes gone, but I have restarted my cycles on a regular basis. Now, do I want to try menopause? Yes, but I haven't tried it yet.
What an incredible story. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your journey and how it's really supported you through your life at this phase of life that you're in right now. And so incredible, so many people, like you said, as part of the standard American diet or just the standard lifestyle that we have, when we go to the doctor, a lot of times, and what I've learned from doctors is they don't learn anything about nutrition. And so, and one thing that I've asked people is, has your doctor ever asked you about your diet or your nutrition prior to prescribing medications for certain symptoms? Now, I'm not against medication. They definitely have their time and place, but oftentimes we are getting over medicated and our doctors actually aren't looking for the root cause of how we can actually get better, because that is not going to help their bottom line. They want us to keep coming back and they get paid every time we get a new prescription. And so it's so sad to see some of our friends that have a basket full of medication by their bedside. And it's because we don't know what we don't know. And so we're just here to share and inspire others of what's possible with these superfoods. And I really love your story. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Well, I just want to let people know that the ULT, the 90-day, is truly a gift, either to yourself or a loved one. I've been able to help people who are getting ready to go on chemo. I've been able to help people with their children with certain health issues. And, you know, when in doubt, like sincerely, there's a 60-day money back guarantee on everything that we provide. And all you have to do is get back a hold of us and we communicate. This communicate, our caring, kind, we are all good communicators. And if we can't answer the question, one of us can, and we can get their help really easy. Sorry, I'm a little nervous, guys.
You're doing great. No, I love that. It's so true. We're all here to support each other. And when we can't find the answer, we can always just reach out to one of our colleagues and ask them and find the answer that we're looking for. And yeah, for anybody that is here for their first time, all you have to do is reach back out to the person who invited you to this presentation and ask questions, and they'll be happy to help answer your questions or find answers to the questions that you have in regards to your health and what you're going through right now in your life. And so we have an incredible community. And thank you so much, Martha, for being a part of it and sharing your story.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
Absolutely. And so we still have some time here. If anybody else has a story that you would like to share with our community, we'd love to open it up. You can just raise your virtual hand. I know there's quite a few amazing, inspiring stories of people that are here on the line right now. And so if you feel like you want to share, then I'd love to have you on as well. So I see Kelly has her hand raised, and we'd love to hear your story as well. So go ahead and unmute yourself. Excuse me.
Hey everyone, thanks so much, and a real honor to be invited to speak and use my voice. I'm here with my great friend and almost family, Megan, who just became a brand partner 2 days ago. And she's watched my transformation over the last year, and she owns a vegan restaurant. We're actually upstairs in her office. And I'm so proud of her for just jumping in full hog with Transformation Now, and she's going to bring the superfoods into her smoothie bar at the vegan restaurant. So just giving her a shout out because she said, Kelly, we need to get on that call tonight because she's a mom too. But for me, I was introduced to Purium. This is my 1 year anniversary, guys. So August 2024 and the 22nd of August last year. And I have 6 kids. We raised 6 kids on one income. My baby's 31. She manages Megan's restaurant. So I am going to be 65 in December. And I feel like, compared to many, so I'll talk about the health piece first. I feel like compared to many, like I was an amateur gourmet and I've been a foodie my whole life. And I feel like I fed my family quite healthy compared to like a lot of people. But honestly, realized the things that I've learned over the last couple of years, and especially the last year, being educated with Purium and in the regenerative health space, that I really didn't know a heck of a lot that I thought I did. So if you can imagine, I homeschooled for 15 years. So I was just always looking after everybody that I loved. And then sadly, my husband, we've been married 40 some years, can't remember now. And he got an early diagnosis of dementia. He has 3 people and his mom in their family had dementia, and he got diagnosed with dementia 6 years ago. And so we took the holistic route the whole way. We've never done the mainstream route. And so we have managed to slow it down a lot, but he has declined a lot in the last little while. So now I've kind of lost my partner in life, and I've become a caregiver after doing, just giving my whole life for my family. And so when I came into Purium, it was really I'm going to say one of the first things that I ever did for me to just dive in and choose me and love on me. And my beautiful sponsor, Cindy, we're in the regenerative health world together. And she was jumping in and she said, do you want to do this with me? And I'm like, let's go. How did we not know? Right. Yeah. And I mean, to think that neither one of us knew about this. I have been in the direct sales world. That's what I did as a stay-at-home mom, like 3 decades, guys. I've been in the direct sales world and had built 2 full-time incomes back to back with 2 home party businesses that closed. So the network marketing world was a bit new to me. But I dove in, and I mean, I think what I'd like to share, on the business side. Well, no, so I'll say it transformed my life. Megan has watched me transform. The ULT it's been mind blowing. I do, I used to have panic attacks from stress. We always struggled financially, and my central nervous system became completely regulated. I lost so many inches and excess waste. I lost 14 pounds over the ULT without ever focusing on weight loss, just regenerating at a cellular level. REM sleep, energy like crazy. I had no idea I had digestive issues. And it was funny, was it Dina that said when I looked in the no, who said that? Oh, that was on another call. I think somebody, yeah, they were like, I had no idea. And so I would say, Cindy, I'm having a St. Bernard day. Sorry for the details, guys, but it was like, what the heck? How is this happening? I had no idea that I was not eliminating properly. And so the biomedic just like unbelievable. And then what the revelation I had is how overfed and undernourished that we all are. And so the nutrient density that we have and how less calories the world thinks they need because they're so nutrient deficient, right? So just all of that was such a revelation to me, and it transformed my health, you guys. 1 year later, like I can't even believe when I look at my face and I look in the mirror and like it's crazy. But on the financial side, I'm going to say, so you see my name is Kelly Connects because that was a name, that was a a name that was given to me many, many years ago on the couch. I feel like it was a word from God that came to me. And I was like, I cried for 2 hours. I knew it had something to do with my future, with revenue, with the business. I had no idea. But I just knew that it was for me. And so it's kind of been my brand for several years, and I am a connector. I know it's a calling. And so I connect, my mission is to connect people, other humans, with humans they don't know about, and with beautiful services and products that they don't know about. And it's kind of all come full circle. And the power of that connection and being authentic and building trust with people. My ULT, I ordered it. I started talking about it as a brand partner, of course, and I started talking about it. And within 24 hours, my bestie, her husband, and another good friend all bought the ULT. And I got this email or something saying I was a consultant, that I had promoted to the first rank. And I said, "Oh, what's a consultant?" Like, I had no idea. And it was, "Oh, you had your first bonus." And I was so blessed to run. I had a narrow miss on Fast Start Diamond. And then the past few months have been a rough go for me. And since January, we're in Canada. And so I feel like there's been some dynamics that have impacted us, and then also personally going through some stuff, but never stopped with the superfoods, never, of course, and always connecting, and what I have built has carried on. But now there's just this fresh momentum, guys, like, and it's just, it's solid and pure. The community, our beautiful mentors, Mary Beth and Rita, like, it's been beyond amazing, like beyond so transformational. And I am a lifer, and I know that I feel like I'm hitting like restart on my relaunch. It's not that I've lost ground at all. I've helped so many people and transformed a lot of lives through the ULT, and I just feel like I'm just getting started. And I'm so grateful that Megan, I mean, we talked about Purin for a while. I don't know what finally turned the corner for her, but here we are. So, yeah, so she's inspiring me too with my relaunch, and we are going to have so much fun and change so many lives together. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Amazing. I love your share. And since Megan is there with you, Megan, would you like to share what was it that made you say yes to Kelly?
So I think running a business, so the whole thing started, both my parents are nurse practitioners. They are very much in like the normal health kind of, you need antibiotics, you need this, you need that. My whole life, from the day that I was born, they graduated nursing school, and that's what it was. And I moved to England, kind of got into my own, you go through 27 years old, you go through this, like, if you believe in all that Saturn return or whatever. And I feel like I had one of those, and I moved away. I got away from all the noise and the influences, and found myself and found veganism, because not like veganism, but just veganism, if you know what I mean. And then finally my parents got on board. My dad's in cardiology, my mom's in nephrology, so heart, diabetes. Then as they're ranking up in their profession, they're not only like on the ground, now they're seeing patients post-op and having to tell them, okay, this is your next steps. A plant-based diet, you need to focus on like lean meats, blah, blah. And they're still not here yet on our level, not even in the hospital world. But so they decided, okay, let's all invest together in this business. The business was Mega Mindful Living. We're going to change the world through like lifestyle medicine, what you put in your body, and just working out in moderation. And we were going to have my parents were going to check vitals, and the doctors were going to prescribe Mega Mindful Living, and they were going to come here, and I was going to teach them how to eat like holistically, how to eat natural organic foods, not man-made. And then my parents would do all of the nurse stuff where they can check their vitals. And the world wasn't ready for that yet because COVID happened, and none of that was essential. So here we are. We've just got this business started, we're shut down because of COVID. After talking to all the doctors, like a lot of them are realizing and they're on board. We need to start fueling the body. It is the most important. Our gut is so important, even over the brain and the heart and everything. Like what you feed your body is crucial. And so we had to pivot, and to pay the mortgage, we opened up what was essential, which was a restaurant. And we are still, now we're a full-on restaurant. Like, I don't know how this happened. I'm sorry. I don't know if any of you guys are in the restaurant world, but it is like you were kind of in there too. And so the reason why I didn't sign up originally was because I was like, there's a lot on my plate right now. I don't know. But you were persistent. I so appreciate that, because my health was declining. I had a baby more than ever because of all the stress. Like, I'm pretty sure I had fibromyalgia, like every single bone in my body aches. I was a very competitive athlete. I had like leaky gut from all of the ibuprofen that I was pumped full of from my coaches. Got to keep going, just wrap it up, like we got to get points. And I'm on my 4th knee surgery that I actually had today. And so I am just ready to just get rid of the noise, focus on me, listen to my body,
So
listen
proud
to
of her.
Kelly,
So
finally.
proud of her.
And
This is huge. This is so big.
yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I have a sugar addiction, so all of you guys I haven't tried any of the products yet. I have never tried it because I'm just so new. So I just signed up. I am like, now I'm really excited. So I'm like, isn't it? I gotta check the tracking. But I just want to thank you guys so much for just doing what you do, every single one of you, just spreading the word, because there's people like me out there that need this so bad. Thank you.
Absolutely. I love your share. And, I love that Kelly continued to be consistent with you, regardless of you had a vegan restaurant, you had all these healthy options at your fingertips already. You're already very knowledgeable, but you're also really stressed and really busy. And something nutritious and fast and easy could really benefit your busy lifestyle and maybe relieve a little bit of stress from your life as well. And then, of course, the financial opportunity of creating another stream of income and being able to help more people have access to this community is such a gift. And so, welcome to the community. Thank you so much for being willing to just share on our call, even before you've received your products. That is so awesome. And yeah, just keep sharing. I know that you're going to be massively successful. I love that your parents are both nurses and that, you have access to some people in the health practitioner world where we can really bridge that gap and get into those places that really need to have this as a tool, as a solution for their clients and their patients that could really use a hand with their nutrition, because you have a vegan restaurant, right? But not everybody knows how to do that. A lot of people, when their doctors tell them to go on a plant-based diet, they start to think that they're really limited. They start to think that they have to just eat like a carrot or a salad or like super plain, which what they don't realize is they could make the salad with all kinds of different things and so many different fruits. And we have actually a huge variety of foods that are vegetarian or vegan that come from the earth that are natural and good for us. And so, but not everybody has your knowledge. So now you have something to bridge the gap, make it easy for people to have access to a plant-based lifestyle without having to figure out what they're going to have for 3 meals a day. Maybe now you can help them with the 1 meal a day that they have with the ULT. And really be able to provide extra service to your community. So thank you both so much for coming on and sharing. Is there any last words you'd like to share with us?
Good on me. Yeah, no, I did have something in them.
Maybe it'll come. For me, I guess I just want to say that what I see in this community is there's so much grace and authenticity in this community. Like I've never, and guys, 30 years, I'm saying 30 years I was in the direct sales industry, and I built to the top in 2 companies and walked the stage and all that stuff and was part of great communities. But I can honestly tell you that I have never experienced the level of authenticity, humility, even amongst the top leaders, and how when, a rising tide floats all boats, or whatever that saying is, like, just, yeah, like when we all do well, we all do well. And it's the free sharing that happens at all levels amongst the teams. And it's just absolutely powerful. So I want to express my gratitude for that, because it's inspired and carried me, this whole year.
Yeah, I want to say I know what I was saying. I am an Instagram person. I think that it's super important because we're always on our phone to like fill our feed with important stuff. So I followed quite a few of you guys on there, just because that's what I want to see. That's what I want to kind of keep motivating me as I navigate this busy restaurant, new baby mom, crazy world.
New superfood business.
Exactly. And so I did, and I'm a stronger together person too. So I feel like we're all stronger together. Like we can kind of snag ideas off one another and just really kind of boost each other up. And because yeah, it is a world of that right now.
For sure.
Just right now, maybe it'll change, but right now it for sure is.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna follow. I've been typing in names, and I'm just so blown away by all like the level of commitment, and like some of these pages are just so bright and full of like positivity, and it's just so nice and refreshing to see. Yeah.
Awesome.
Amazing. Thank you both so much for your shares. I really appreciate getting to hear your stories. Thank you, Martha and Dominique, and everybody who shared here today. Really grateful, and Dina. And I'll go ahead and pass it over to Dominique. And I know that you had your hand raised if you wanted to share a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and close out.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say I love calls so much. Like all the stories, all the testimonials, everyone just walking us through your entire journey of how, you come to just transition in your life and how you continue to evolve, but you continue to love yourself and give yourself grace through all of it. And I always tell, everyone that I talk to about Purium and our superfoods, but really these foods are our anchor through every transition we go through in life. And, especially just bringing it back to today's call, about talking about, menopause and hormonal health as women, like our hormones are changing all the time. So if we stay grounded within our bodies, through this food, through this nourishment, it can support us through whatever comes, up for us. So just thank you all for sharing your story. Dina, I love what you mentioned just about, your journey through sobriety. That's so powerful. The fact that, you overcame something like that and you still to this day are using your power to share and help others. Martha, every time you come on, I'm like on the verge of tears because your story is so powerful, and what you shared about your son was so beautiful. And you are, sharing and showing up in a new way. And I think that alone is inspiring. Dominique, I call her my twin because we have the same name. I know she had to jump off early, but she's always inspiring me. I love just even knowing that she was afraid to share on social media. And if you guys follow her on social media, she's always posting, always sharing. You would never think that she had social anxiety at all. And then obviously even Kelly and Megan, it's such a blessing to have you both on. Congratulations, Megan, for launching your business and being on to share, your story. Naive, if you want to go ahead and share the end screen, because I was going to mention that all of you who shared your stories today, these calls are recorded, but we upload them to YouTube. So definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can take a screenshot of this photo, or even scan the QR code to our YouTube channel, but you can use this as leverage to grow your business. Because the number one way that we grow our business is through sharing our stories, right? Because our stories are what inspire others. So you can screenshot, screen record your testimony today and use it to share online, or, just to people. And then also, we encourage you to come back and, continue to share. So on the right-hand side of this flyer, you can see our Zoom schedule for the rest of the month. Next Thursday, I'm actually going to be leading about our business opportunities, specifically speaking to people who are going back to school, because obviously everyone now is going back to school, whether that's college, elementary school, whatever, and using this opportunity as a way for people to create extra income to either fund their school, back to college, or, as another resource of income while they're in school. So I do have a few testimonials I'm excited to share. And if you have a story or someone in your community that has a story like that, please let us know, because we would love to have them on to share. But yeah, please join us again next week. Please come. We're willing to share your story because we want to capture as many testimonials as we can. And thank you all for being here. We'll see you again next week.